Everybody's up in arms about it, so let's talk. Everybody's losing their minds over the protests in LA. I'm old enough to remember when we had the LA riots. My daddy was in the National Guard and was sent to California from Kentucky to be there to aid in the riots in Los Angeles. That was during the Bloods and Crips, the 90s. Things were wild. Rodney King got beat to death. Like, I lived through it. What's happening is a bunch of squatters have come in and started living in your house. Okay? Bunch of squatters. And now the landlord's found out. And he's real friggin' mad about it. Real mad about it. And he's saying, you got to go home now because it's not your home. And instead of the homeowners going, you're right, they're trespassing and they're freeloading, we're burning our own house to the ground and waving flags of the squatters. Are you listening? Everybody was all up in arms last week because Daddy Trump and Daddy Elon are at odds. Oh, they're breaking it. You don't think that was a diversion? You don't think that was by chance? Let's get the two richest people in the entire world and put them in a scandal real quick so everybody will talk about that instead of what's actually going on? Tell you something. If you support all this rioting, and you support all this protesting, and you support all this civil unrest, then you need to pack your suitcase and go back to whatever country it is that you're supporting them people, okay? You need to go ahead and get your stuff together, get all your shit, pack it up, and you go right up there and you adopt one of them, you go back home with them. Because we ain't got time for that kind of bleeding heart sympathy in a country where there's children and veterans starving to fucking death. We don't have it. We don't have that kind of time. We don't have that kind of patience. We don't have that kind of empathy anymore. We sure as hell don't have the budget for it. Okay? So, if you don't like what I have to say, then pack the shit. Go to Ukraine or Uganda or, Serbia or Mexico or Venezuela or wherever the hell else you want to go that you think people need your humanitarian support, because we sure as hell don't need it here. If you can't find it in your heart to help your own neighbors, to help your own people, to help your own children that are starving to death in your own country, then pack your shit. I'll wave at you as you take off. Don't forget to write. Bye. But if you think for one second that any of this is admissible in the land of the free, you need to pack your shit. Pack your shit. Pack your shit. Adopt your little Ukrainian family or Serbian family or, Colombian family, wherever it is that your heart's bleeding for them. Pack up your shit. Take out your 401k. Stop using your Medicaid and your welfare. Stop that now. Stop that now, because you don't get to buy for other people on those cards. We check. So, get all your stuff. Pack up your piggy bank and take off to Rio, baby. Bye. 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 Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Bye. Because I'm telling you, I'm 41 years old, fixing to turn 42. I'm a wife of a veteran. I'm a daughter of a veteran. I'm a sister of an active duty soldier. I don't see anybody raising hell for them when their Medicaid or their VA gets disabled, or they can't get their medicine, or in Texas where they're telling you to be on 90 days of opioid treatments before you can take medical marijuana for pain management. Sounds like we got a couple politicians we need to ship up and pack out too. The only good thing coming out of this is that they wouldn't let Maxine Waters, whatever the hell her name is, dipshit, they wouldn't let her in her office today. Bye. Bye, Maxine. Bye. It was so nice of you to stay here for as long as you did. We hate that you have to go so quick. Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Bye. Bye, girl. Bye. Bye, girl. God, we're going to miss you. Bye, girl. Bye. Tell Ellen we said hello. You're out of your damn minds. My husband and I watched the Pee Wee as Himself documentary today on Amazon Prime. And I'll tell you what's the damn truth. Y'all ruined a good man. You ruined a creative man, a creative spirit, somebody who brought joy and glee to a bunch of people. He got arrested for being in an 18 and over movie house watching an X-rated film, which was well within his legal right as an American citizen and as a person over 18 years old. Ruined his entire career. The things you are celebrating and picking your presidents over is the same thing that we destroyed Pee Wee Herman over. The things that you're glorifying in your classrooms and doctrinating your 8 and 9-year-olds with and deciding that everybody needs to be whatever they want to be. You killed Michael Jackson for it. You killed Pee Wee Herman for it. All the things that were so taboo. Oh, everybody's the morality police until they get caught. Ain't they? But you ruined Paul Reubens. You ruined him. You ruined him. He was a good man. He was a great entertainer. He was incredibly friggin' smart. And because he made a decision in his own time as a grown-ass man, and you all decided to tear him limb for limb for it, we didn't get to watch reruns of Pee-wee's Playhouse ever again. The same network that is pushing all this bullshit, the same network that has to check every box that we have a multiracial family and a multi-sexual family, and we got to have a couple of little adoptees in there. We got to have a couple of surrogates. We got to check all the boxes. Same shit that you're playing on primetime is the same shit that you fired Pee Wee Herman for. Isn't it funny how shit changes in 30 years? But everybody's worried. They're like, they're sending barges of military vehicles up the Ohio River. Yeah, it's drill this weekend. They do that every weekend. Okay. They're preparing for a war in D.C. Well, the Republicans are ready. If you thought the insurrection on January 6th was something to write home about. Daddy's home. We ain't gonna throw shit at Washington. You stupid. Anyway. I'm just looking at it going, y'all can't be this dumb. You can't be in the year 2025 and be tax-paying, voting Americans and be this stupid. You can't. You can't. There'd be tons of you laying on the side of the road like dead deer because you're too stupid to do anything. It's not our typical cigarette mom jargon, but you know what? I'm pissed off. And sometimes we get pissed off and we talk about this shit together. And what pisses me off right now is all you bleeding heart Americans who want to take it upon yourselves to stop the government from doing their job to get the people in this country out that aren't supposed to be here to begin with. You want to come here? You want to come here? More than welcome. We'll lay out the red carpet. Fill out your forms. Get your card. Take the citizenship test. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to gain citizenship to another country as long as you put in the work and effort. What they don't like is when you sneak in through the back door, start eating our food, stealing our shit, and then bedding down in our pastures. Okay, the last raccoon that did that on my porch, I filled full of lead. So, because he didn't pay for that food, and he don't live here, and he's not supposed to be here, and so he had to go back to where he came from, which was hell. So, I don't understand. I don't understand how there's people in this world that call the law over their neighbors having chickens and collecting rainwater and sit at their house all day and send $50 to a country that they can't even find on the map. Okay. I'm just double checking. Because I lived through 9/11. I lived through Y2K. I lived through the riots in L.A. I've lived through a 15-year war for opium that they blamed on oil and bin Laden. But, good call, Bush. You got us all fooled for a while. And I'm just looking at it going, history repeats itself if you don't learn your fucking lesson the first time. If you want to be American, then be an American. If you want this country to succeed, then stop promoting all the shit that's going to tear it down. If you want this country to be the best that it's ever been, then stop hating the pilot flying the plane and hoping it don't fucking crash. I don't understand it. For 4 solid years, I listened to Bumbling Joe Idiot fall upstairs and talk about how white kids were just as smart as black kids and how nobody knows what's going on with Hunter's laptop. I'm quoting. So before you come at me with the hate and the bullshit, I'm quoting. Look it up. And if you think the news has got it all right, then look at the big libel lawsuit against ABC where Trump sued them, and won. Oh, integrity and journalism. You can bet your ass that I thought I was still at Transylvania in 2001 and I got one thing wrong on a paper that wasn't backed up by something online in the MLA format, I would have been kicked out of that private school. You can bet your ass. I saw it happen to 3 of my classmates. But if they're running for office, it's okay. If they're running for, they want to be the anchor of this news station and they just make some bullshit up like they work for the Inquirer, that's okay. That's okay because that's entertainment. Walter Cronkite is spinning in his urn. I can't get over y'all. And you know, maybe I should get off my soapbox and get behind a pulpit if I'm going to start preaching. Maybe I should run for office if nobody in power has any sense to blow their own nose. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Maybe my IQ's too high. Maybe I got too much common sense. Maybe I was raised too right. Maybe I know the Lord a little too close. But all of this screams screwed up. Hi, Lisa. I'm glad to know you. Sometimes I just smoke cigarettes and make fun of people and sing songs and play with my chickens. But today I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of mad that I have to beg, fight, borrow, steal, and kill to pay for groceries on the table. And there's sons of bitches out in California living on our tax dollars. Go home. And if you don't know where it is, we'll pick a country of your choice and send you to it. Let them deal with you. Hell, Canada's not got enough to worry about. I'm just saying we got too many problems, and it's time that we stop being the playground bully. It's time that we stop taking care of everybody else. It's time we start taking care of our own. Our new foreign policy should be just because American don't mean America should. You know? We don't need no more wars. We got wars at home. They need a housewife charging that budget. I'm telling you that. Free weed for everybody. Send everybody that don't have a license, an ID, a passport, or a green card back to wherever the hell they came from. Why is this hard? Why is this hard? If you go into my show, you get a hand stamp. If you don't have a hand stamp, you can't get into my show. And if you sneak into my show, they kick you out or make you pay to be there. How's that different than the national borders of our country? How's that different? How's that different? If I were to sneak on an airplane right now and be like, oh, it's okay, I know somebody here, they'd kick me off that airplane. If I were to sneak in the back door of somebody's job and be like, I work here, it's fine. No, they'd kick me out. Why are we not having the same jurisdiction for our country as we do for minimum paying jobs? You don't work here. You don't live here. You're not from here. Go home. I already have a song called Go Home, and it's about going back to Esther County and drinking L8s, but still, go home. And I love everybody. Everybody is welcome here. I understand that we are a land of indigenous and immigrant people. We are a land of Ellis Island and Yosemite. We are a land of Yellowstone and Firestone. I get it. We have all kinds from all walks of life, but they got here the right way. They got here the right way. My great-great-grandpa, when he came across to Ellis Island, was from Germany. His name's right there in the book. Not Jose's grandma, who came across the border with a whole 9-piece bedroom suit strapped to her back. I don't know if she has any cards. I tell you what, you're fixing a lot of fire that you can't put out. You're fixing to swat at a hornet's nest that you have absolutely no idea how to control once you open it. You have no idea what's coming. Keep your Bibles open and your powder dry, is all I can tell you. But, and I'll tell you something else that's on my nerves. I'm just going to tell y'all while I'm thinking about it. Do not, under any circumstance at all, look at somebody going through some shit and be like, well, God never gives us more than he can handle. Horse shit. I've checked the Bible. I've checked 1st and 2nd Corinthians and the book of Second Opinions. It ain't in there. It ain't in there. The Lord is known for giving you more than you can handle. The way you lean on him for support and you lean on his people for guidance. The Lord's going to give you more than you can handle, so you learn to be humble. The Lord's going to give you more than you can handle, so it breaks you down and breaks your spirit and builds you back up to be the Christian that you need to be. That's a true story. I've called upon his name and I've been born again in the water, and I've read that book twice, and it turns out God also has a daughter. Right here she sits. God has a lot of sons and daughters. Loves them. Loves them. Brought them into this world, can take them back out. All he wants to do is get to know you a little better. And look at you and say, if you're following me, if you're keeping your eye on me, you don't have to worry about that shit. If you're serving me, if you're serving my plan, you don't have to worry about that stuff. If you're loving your neighbor and taking care of your own, you don't have to worry about that. There will be wars and rumors of wars for years to come. It's in the Bible. You know what always is true? You know what always stands the test of time? You know what always stands through every flash, flood, petulance, famine, fire, fiasco that we've had in the past 20,000 years? God. Still there. So, he's just asking you to let him walk with you. That's all he's asking. But I hate when people say, well, the Lord never gives anything to you that you can't handle. I refer you to Job. I refer you to Cain. I refer you to Noah. I refer you to Moses. I refer you to any of the 55 books of the approved Bible from King James, which don't get me started on all the shit that they left out. But I'm looking at it going, quit saying that to people, especially people that are going through some shit. You want to be a good Christian? Say, I'm praying for you. I'm here for you. I don't care if we have to talk or not. I don't care if all you need is me to make a casserole and a cheese ball and drop it off on your porch. I don't care if all you need me to do is to remember you tonight in my prayers before I go to bed. That's what that's for. That's what being a Christian's about. Or did y'all miss it? Were you too busy trying to keep up in the Joel and Victoria Osteen Members of the Month Club? Were you too busy learning all your songs for your praise and worship band instead of checking out the chapters that the sermon's on? Were you too busy judging the person next to you than praying for them? Even God sent people back to their own lands. He sent Abraham through the wilderness and said, this ain't your place. This ain't your place yet. I'll tell you when you get there, but this ain't it. You got to go. They went to Egypt, and God said, what I say? Get out of Egypt. Get out of Egypt. Get out of Egypt. Get out, get out, get out, get out. You don't belong here. You're not from here. You don't live here. Get out. First situation of immigration in the entire Bible. Get out. And the Lord delivered them to a much better place. So, I'm not being anti-Christian. I'm not being anti-God. I am being anti-American. You hate this country so much that you're willing to forsake everything that my husband, my daddy, my grandfather, my brother, and millions of other men and women have fought for to protect, just so you can say that you knew somebody from Venezuela. Was that before or after they raped your kids and got you stuck on fentanyl? I know someone from Colombia. Was that before or after they trafficked your child through the Ohio River Valley and you never saw him again? I know lots of people from Mexico. Was that before or after they banned THC in Texas and you had to start getting it across the board? And I know a lot of y'all are going to hate me. I don't give a damn. I wish I did. I don't. I don't. You can stand right here in my front face and say, I hate your guts. I don't care. I'm still going to pray for you. I still love you. I don't have to like you to love you. I don't have to like you to pray for you. But it is my job as a Christian to see the bigger picture and to serve the greater good. And the greater good right now is us to follow God and leave all this horseshit behind. The greater good right now is to take care of our own. The greater good right now is to search inside your heart and figure out, is this the life that you want to bring your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren into? Because right now it's shit. The Lord asks us to discern. Okay? He tells us to love everybody, but he also, if there was an extra hidden verse, it'd be like, but don't be a dummy, okay? It's kind of like the same principle of being a doctor. Do no harm, but take no shit, I'm looking at this whole thing going, God's coming back a lot quicker than you think he is. And I for one, am looking forward to it, because a lot of people that think they're going to heaven ain't not even close. You're not even going to get close to the waiting room. But enjoy your earthly spoils, because you sure as hell are living it up here down on earth. So anyway, a lot of people say, Sarah, you're a comedian. Sarah, you're a singer and a songwriter. But more than that, I'm a Christian. More than that, I'm an American. More than that, I'm a human who looks around and goes, how the hell are we going to feed the starving in West Virginia when we're sending all of our money to the Ukraine? How are we going to take care of all the veterans at the VA if we're sending all of our money to Bosnia? How are we going to take care of shit in our own backyard if we're taking care of shit in other countries? Do you see the problem? Clean your own house first. Get your own house in order. Put on your own mask before you help the one in the seat next to you. I don't know how else to say it. I may not ever be famous, probably because of this mouth and probably because of this heart. And they fight all the time. And they usually are fighting in the same direction, but I'm fighting a lot of stuff coming at me. And I know you got to choose your battles. And I choose my battles, and the Lord says, that's too many battles. Put some battles back. You know, it's too many. So I look at it going, my job on this earth is very similar to Paul Rubens. My job is to bring joy, to bring laughter, to bring truth, to bring a message, to bring feeling and emotion and thought-provoking moments that you can take with you on down the road, because I'm building something that will live longer than us. You know anybody else that did that? Wrote a bunch of stuff down. We still read it every Sunday. I'm building something that will outlive us. And what kind of legacy do I leave behind if it's all crumbled to the ground by the time that my nieces and nephews get a chance to look at it? Y'all might not like my music. You might not like my comedy. You might not like what I have to say, or my hats, or my jackets, or my jewelry, or anything else that I try to peddle to make a little chicken feed money with. And that's fine. That's fine. But what I say is still true, whether you like the messenger it's coming out of or not. We still have islands that used to be mountains in North Carolina. We still have people buried under rubble in London and Corbin, Kentucky. We still have people rebuilding their lives from a hurricane we had 20 fucking years ago. In case anybody's keeping up, CERN's back active, and they're working on the collider, and you know, that's why everybody's head's all messed up, and everybody's solar flares are nuts, and everybody's electronic devices are acting weird, and well, everybody's felt like time's really weird, but it's fluid, and it's moving fast, but it's moving slow, and I've got the headache, and I don't feel right, and I got brain fog, and I feel like shit. Thank CERN for that. Thank CERN for that. Thank a bunch of people over in Switzerland who are trying to create the Big Bang, and every time that they start this shit up and shit gets wonky and fucks the whole world up for a little bit, then God's like, have you figured it out yet? That's not how I did it. It's not how I did it. It's like trying to recreate a recipe, and he's like, you're missing the chocolate chips. So, anyway, I get my heart broke all the time because I wear it right here. I wear it right here. Right here on the edge of this sleeve. Right here. Because not only is my job a Christian, and not only is my job as a housewife, and not only is my job as an American, but also I'm an entertainer, and I'm an empath, and I'm a songwriter, and I'm a storyteller, and I don't know what it's called. I knew it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Not when you can hear stuff, when you can feel stuff. It's not clairaudient, it's not clairvoyant. I don't remember. Anyway, word I don't know, I have to look it up. But I'm looking at it going, I have all of these gifts from the good Lord running through my system right now. And right now, they're all kind of sitting at a standstill going, what do we do next? What do we do next? Be real careful, Sarah, because they crucified Jesus for telling the same story. They crucified Peter for telling the same story. They crucified Paul for telling the same story. They outlawed and exiled John to Patmos for telling the same story. So yeah, I'm a little scared to be a Christian in today's world, but it's not going to stop me from talking. I'll die on this hill if I have to. But my point is, love everybody. Have compassion for your fellow man. But at the same time, remember that there's rules and regulations in countries for a reason to prevent law and disorder from breaking out. Right? I can't turn it off, Jennifer, because if I do, the songs dry up. The comedy dries up. I dry up. I am just a human vein of emotion. And that's fine. And that's fine. I cry about it. I get mad about it. I smoke about it. I laugh about it. I sing about it. I write about it. Somebody's got to tell the story. There's got to be a Woody Guthrie. There's got to be a Bob Dylan. There's got to be a Carly Simon and a Joan Baez and a Joni Mitchell telling these stories. Do you know anybody that's telling these stories? Do you think in 50 years somebody's going to look back and be honky tonk ba donkey donk? Country girl, shake it for me? What kind of legacy are we leaving? Somebody needs to tell the truth. And the truth is, you got to get your house in order. The truth is, You gotta find God before it's too late. The truth is, he ain't even lost. He's standing on your doorstep. I am terrified of how many of my dear, beautiful friends I'm not going to get to see in the afterlife because they just flat out refuse to believe there's anything past this. They flat out refuse to believe in the miracle of life and the miracle of nature and the miracle of God. They flat out think that science will prove religion wrong. If you're a true Christian, you know that science just proves religion. If you're a true Christian, you know that there is no such thing as evolution versus creation. It's creation and then evolution. Built it, revised it, revised it, revised it, final product. Songwriter. You're welcome. So, my whole point is that if you're that upset about what's going on in LA, pack your shit. Go home. Go home with them. Pick a home. You can't save everybody. You can't. But remember the airplane rules. You have to put on your own mask before you help somebody next to you. And just because the bag is not inflated does not mean that oxygen is not flowing through your mask. Can we quit playing in Sodom and Gomorrah yet? Because I'm really tired of it, and I'm getting kind of tired of the commercials, and getting kind of tired of the travel brochures. And can we just stop planning our trip to Sodom and Gomorrah? Can we just get out of it before we all turn into pillars of salt? You're literally celebrating and normalizing to justify it the biggest era of sin I have seen in 41 years. The Lord flattened a bunch of cities for less. The Lord has destroyed places on this earth for less. So no, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. No, I don't think that my lifestyle is more appropriate than anyone else's. I think we're all doing the best that we can with what we've been given. But it all comes down to free will and choice. It comes down to whether or not you're going to pick up the cocaine or you're going to pick up the Bible. It's coming down to whether you're going to pick up the bottle or you're going to pick up the phone. It all comes down if you're going to break your family or break your own heart. You need to search your heart. You need to search your soul. You need to find God before it's too late. Because he's coming a lot quicker than you think. So, in the meantime, everybody who's all up in arms, well, the best defense is a good offense. Stock up. Get you some bottled water. Get you some toilet paper. Get you some whatever makes you feel better. Stock up. Prepare. Be still and know Lord. You know, you remember that big old storm? Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know the Lord. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here. Go to the bank. Deposit some cash from my tips this weekend. Go to the grocery store and get a gallon of milk and a bag of onions. Because those are the two things I forgot yesterday. Because I thought we had some and we did not. And then we'll get out here and work in my backyard and play with my chickens while I study on whatever I'm going to write about next or what I'm going to talk about next. Because that gives me peace. I feel like the Lord gives us a garden to show us that He's real. I feel like people garden to know the miracle of nature. I feel like people garden to know what it's like to be hand in hand with the Lord. To watch something grow, to watch something mature, to protect something, to feed something, to nurture something. Don't you think that that's just like the Lord? His first creation was a huge garden. Big old garden. Huge garden. Don't eat from them 2 trees, though. Those are mine. And what happened when they broke the rules? He cast them out. First deportation in the Bible. Right there in Genesis. So, you want to bitch and moan about being a Christian and saying that this ain't of God? It's exactly of God. God's first act as an almighty God was to banish Adam and Eve out of the garden for not following the damn rules. Dun, 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 dun. The end. Do you get it? Do you get it yet? Do you get it? So, in the meantime, I appreciate everybody who sent me some stars. Seriously, I'm going to use that to buy some chicken feed because I'm down to my last 50-pound bag, and them sons of bitches are eating like 2 bags a week right now, and if they don't start laying eggs soon, we're going to have a lot of dumplings. You see what I'm saying? So, in the meantime, I'm going to calm my blood pressure down. I'm going to talk to God for a minute. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for us. I'm going to pray for this country. And I'm going to try to figure out what my mission is supposed to be. Because I always thought it was supposed to be a country music singer and songwriter, but the powers that be won't let me do that. So maybe it's just to be a really loud clanging bell. Maybe it's just to stand in the street and make a bunch of noise. Maybe it's to put out music and comedy and stories regardless of the powers that be. Maybe it's me talking to good people like you and saying, you want to help a sister out? Listen to one of my songs. Send me a nickel. Whatever. But the only way we beat that is to stick together. And the more that we all stick together, the less powerful they become. The easiest way to take over something is to divide and conquer. History has proven this. Oh, honey, you know Jesus was a Southerner. I have fed plenty with just 2 loaves and 2 fishes. I mean, good Lord. If you've ever been at Onlines on a Sunday afternoon, we have made a country ham go really, really far. So, you know, I really believe that Jesus was a Southerner. He ran around with 12 fishing buddies all the time, told everybody to love each other, hung out in the woods, had long hair, wore sandals. He would have been from the South, I think. I think that they got that all wrong over there in Europe. I think he probably was from, like, Alabama or Mississippi or something. It was like, you know, we got some crawdads and we got some beignets. We probably can feed this mess. Tell them to come on. So, anyway. I'm not going to get too sacrilegious on it because some of y'all get real up in arms about it. Because the other day I was talking about my nephew. This story warmed my heart. That's why I'm going to share it with you. My nephew's 4 years old and he just got out of VBS and he was telling me about Meshach, Radshach, and the Bendigos. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And he said, they was in fire. I said, they were. He said, and then there was 4, and then that's how they got out. I'm like, okay, you're missing a part of that story, but the end, you got the punchline, so it's okay. So I was telling this on stage, and I had a couple come up to me after the show, and they were like, what's that story? I said, what story? They said, about those 3 people in the fire. And I said, from the Bible? They went, and I thought, okay, Lord, I hear you. And I said, well, if you want to sit and talk for a second, I said, there was these 3 men, you know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You can call them, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry if you want to, you know, whatever. But there was King Nebuchadnezzar, and he said, everybody must worship me. And they were like, no, we don't want to do that. We worship God. And he was like, but you got to worship me. And he's like, well, we're not going to. We're going to worship God. And so they threw them in a big furnace and said, we're never going to die. And so while those 3 men were standing in the flames, a 4th man appeared and delivered them out of the fire. That was God. And to watch these 2 grown-ups hear that story like 2 4-year-olds at VBS and go, they didn't burn? And I'm like, nope, sure didn't. And if you think that's something, wait till you hear about this big boat that saved a bunch of animals. If you think that's something, wait till you hear about Moses leading a bunch of people through the desert for 40 years. 40 years, the time that I've been alive on this earth. And then this year they go, we're going to get to the promised land. Now? All right. Shit, I've been in Nashville for 20. I couldn't imagine being an Israelite in the old-time Bible. I'd be like, I'm giving up. I'm going to take up a new job. I should have been something else. I'm just kidding. When the Lord puts a mission in your heart, it really doesn't matter how long it takes because it ain't on your timeline. It's on His. Sarah didn't have a baby till she was well into her 90s. Noah didn't build an ark until he was in his 600s. Moses didn't lead the Israelites out of Egypt until he was well over 500 years old. Yeah, I don't know if that part's right. I probably should look that one up. He probably was like 125. But I'm saying they didn't get started till they was late. Brooks and Dunn didn't start till they was 40. Hell, Julia Child didn't have a cooking show till she was in her 50s. I mean, just pick whatever, you know. It doesn't have to be a child prodigy. You don't have to have everything figured out by the time that you're 30 years old. You don't have to have a family and a career and a job and a house that's paid off, because I don't know anybody that does, by the time you're 40 years old. It's not on your time. It's on God's time. Oh, I see about the ground. We're working on it. I've got like 5 more songs to get in the studio and do, and that is on the docket. So trust me, it has been a long process, and it is very expensive, especially when you're doing it by yourself, because every record executive in town says that you're too fat, old, and ugly, and stupid to be on their radio show. I wish they'd given Patty Loveless and Winona Judd and Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn that same cockamamie excuse about how you don't have enough followers on TikTok and you haven't shown enough of your tits on social media in order to get a record deal, because we wouldn't have nothing to listen to. So, anyway, in the meantime, I'm fighting the powers that be, and the devil comes in all forms. Remember, like Jelly Roll in the Bible said, the sharks ain't always in the water and the snakes ain't always in the grass. Sometimes they're standing on stage with you trying to take your damn spotlight. Sometimes they're sitting behind the desk telling you what you can and cannot sing. Sometimes they're sitting in a desk in Texas and telling you that they still own part of your catalog even though they've never picked up a guitar in their entire life. Sometimes they're running off to Florida because they've robbed everybody blind and are trying to get out of here before the law catches out. You never know where the snakes are going to be, but there are snakes. So be aware. But that was it for today. I just got really mad. All of my friends that, like my hometown friends especially, a couple of them were like, I just don't know what to do. I think you'd be more concerned with what's going on in our hometown. You know, we've got a policeman that's on a power trip and enough homeless people that we could ship them off to a shelter and take it over all of ourselves. I don't understand why we have homeless people in Irving. I don't. I don't understand why we have a drug epidemic in Appalachia when we can grow weed in every holler and you won't let us. I know what it is. We don't have enough money to go around, so if we just kill off half the population, then we don't have to worry about it. It was the same excuse with COVID, too. How do you fix Social Security? Kill all the people that need Social Security. Stupid. Stupid. How do you fix the opioid problem? Kill off all the people on opioids. That's what they're doing. And I know a lot of you are going to come at me and be like, Sarah, you're generalizing. Well, hell, I'm tired of being generalized against, too. I'm a hillbilly, a redneck, a backwoods hill person. You want to know how many labels I've had over the past 40 years? I've been called worse by better. But it don't matter what you think of me. What matters is what he thinks of me. What matters is what I think of me. It ain't your job to like me, it's mine. So, if you do like me, though, it makes this trip a lot easier, and then you're not as pissed off the entire time that I'm pulling over for snacks and roadside attractions. So, you might as well just like me. I'm a lot of fun. And just because we don't agree on everything don't mean that we probably wouldn't go along splendidly in a Walmart or a TJ Maxx together. So, you know, just because we don't absolutely agree on everything doesn't mean that we can't coexist. But in the same breath, just because I'm tolerant doesn't mean that I'm condoning it. Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I don't know. Just because I haven't knocked the taste out of your mouth doesn't mean that you got it coming. Okay? So, just keep that in mind. I know I flipped my hair enough today that you think that I was going to be in a press commercial. But, you know, I get nervous and I fidget. And my spirit's really shaking today because I don't know which battle to prepare for. I don't know if I prepare for the powers that be in Nashville, who even some of my best friends that swore up and down a hand on the Bible. I'll never become like the assholes that are making you lay on casting couches and jump through hoops and do all this crazy fucking shit before you can work with me. But you are. And I'm not going to call your name out because I'm too big of a Christian and I'm too nice of a lady. But you took my money and you didn't do nothing for me. And you know who you are. And we all know who you are because you ain't funny or talented as I am. And I can say that with a great deal of authority because I have beat almost every single person from here to Timbuktu in a karaoke talent show or Estill County Fair. If I wasn't that good, then why the hell did I pay for college with all the shit that I won in karaoke contests? If I wasn't that good, then why is everybody and their brother calling me to write songs for them? If I'm not that good, then why are the powers that be trying to shut me up? Can't eat me. Oh, Courtney, I'm so glad that you came to Roasted. That was such a fun show. I'm so glad y'all were there for that. I love that little place. I can't wait to go back. I need to go back anyway and get some of them drinks because I'm telling you, if you've never had some Snapdragon cannabis in the damn water can, oh my goodness. It's like Sonic and Willie Nelson had a baby. It makes me happy. There's no hangover and everybody's easier to get along with. So, anyway. But I love you and I mean that, and I'm going to get on here and do some music here later this week. I promise you that. I got a lot of songs that I want to cover with y'all. I got a lot of stuff that I need to take care of. Saturday night, we got a show in Lexington, Kentucky at Barrel 53. So make sure you come because that's our very last time in Lexington for a while. Like at least the rest of the summer. So if you haven't been to a show at Barrel 53, come have something to eat, get you a room, hang out with us. The show starts around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So, otherwise, don't bitch that you ain't got to see me. Because I told you where I was going to be. Otherwise, we're going to be in Montana the end of the month. We're going to be at 145 Roadhouse in July. We're going to be on the radio the end of July. We've got a single coming out June the 20th, and we're going to, where else are we going? Sneeds Ferry, Topsail, something like that. I don't know. I got to look it up. So, if you want us to come to where you are and pick and grin and tell you some stories and some jokes and, have a cigarette or two, holler. Holler. I'm really not that expensive. I'm actually kind of cheap. You got to add tax and tariffs, though. But other than that, it's fairly cheap. You pay more for groceries, I promise. So, anyway, speak of the devil, there's a Chinook looking for pot right now. It's too early, boys. We don't harvest until September. But anyway, it's like Hank Jr. said, a country boy can survive. So, 'cause I'm working on it. I gotta get off here and get some shit done because it's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I ain't so much as even made my bed. I have fed the chickens, done 2 loads of laundry, took a nap, watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary, made breakfast for Sean, loaded the dishwasher, so I did get something done, so shut your mouth. And when you see my mother, tell her that you love me because she just apologizes immediately. They're like, oh, and I'll Sarah Beth. And she's like, I'm sorry. Tell her something good about me. It'll make her whole day. But I'm not the most straight-walking Christian that you've ever met, but I am a Christian. And I don't really believe in organized religion. I believe in walking with God and being closer to Him without having to pledge 40% of your annual income and show up every time the doors are open and be best friends with the preacher. I don't really do that. I just want to go to church. I don't want to work. I don't want to work at church. For the past 30 years, I've been a praise director, a VBS teacher, a Sunday school teacher, a preacher, a song leader, a choir director. Sometimes I just want to sit there and pew from the back and talk to God. Because I found that once you know how the sausage is made, you don't eat it as much anymore, So I just want to go to church. I want to find a church that believes in full immersion baptism and communion every Sunday and walking with the Lord and preaching from the Bible and not adding to or taking from it. I was raised non-denominational Christian. I don't believe that you have to be baptized into a congregation. I don't believe that you must be voted on by your constituents when it's on election. It's church. I don't believe that you only gather around, the first day of every 6 months. No, it says in the Bible, you gather around the Lord's table the first day of every week. It's right there in Matthew and Bill Beard read it every single Sunday at River Drive Christian Church. I know. And, sprinkling, hell, I get wetter in a rainstorm. You dunk and come up, just pretend you're at the fair and somebody's throwing a baseball at you for the fire department or something. I want to find that church. I want to find that church that's got about 40 pews and got a piano and an organ and an old man that is blue in the face from preaching so hard at the people that are there every Sunday. I want a song leader that is smoking a cigarette outside the back door and getting ready for the first hymn. I want a prayer leader that I saw crack an L8 before he went to the service. I want a God-fearing bunch of people that are actually a God-fearing bunch of people. I ain't going to a country club. I ain't going to a mega church. I ain't going to a football stadium. I ain't going to a rock concert. I want to go to church. And my church right now is that little chicken chapel in the back where me and God watch over our flock and talk to Him every day. We got about 64 members right now. No, 65, 66. We just got 2 new chickens. 2 new members. Yes, I went to school with your brother, Tom Chaney, and he was an amazing artist and an even better friend, and I miss him every single day. He was one of my very true friends when I was in high school because we were outcasts, and we got picked on a lot, and Tom Chaney came to my rescue quite a bit. So, yes, I did know your brother, and I think about him all the time. Incredibly talented. Incredibly talented. Him and Robert Patrick, John Hatfield, who else we used to hang out with? Jessica Puckett. There was like 6 or 8 of us that always hang out in journalism class, and I always loved Thomas. He was so nice to me. And brilliant. I wish he was still alive because I would have him design my album covers. The man was so talented. So, yes, Melissa, I knew your brother, and he was a good man. And I miss him. And I wish there were more people like him. So anyway, that just goes to prove that you don't know how long you've got with the people that you love. So just love on your people. Love on them. Don't try to talk them through it. Don't try to tell them that the Lord's got the biggest battles for their bravest soldiers. That's not biblical. Quit saying that shit. If somebody had said that to Job, he would have knocked their teeth down their throat. Maybe I'm supposed to start a church. Maybe Sean's supposed to preach. Maybe we've been through all of this bullshit for the past 40 years so we can look at people and say, we've been there, and this is how you get out of it. I don't know. I don't know what my mission is. I just know that I'm praying for the Lord to use me in whatever way He sees fit. And right now, He's telling me to get on here and talk to you fine folks. So that's what I'm doing. But I am going to pray for you. I'm going to hopefully see you at a show. I'm going to look for you. And I hope that you keep an eye out for us too, because we all have to kind of keep an eye out for each other right now. And remember, there's safety in numbers. Stick together. Stick together. I mean, even Jesus believed there was safety in numbers. He walked around with 12 people all the time. You know how hard it is to fit 12 people in one car? It's a good thing that they was just walking. Just saying that had to have like 2 Ubers. So, I'm originally from Eastern Kentucky, but right now I'm living in the Taze Valley, West Virginia area because I just married the love of my life, who is also my drummer and my manager and my best friend. So, but we travel all the time. We got 100,000 miles in every vehicle that we got. We got to pull the camper to Irvin this weekend so I can get ready for Father's Day. Hi, darling. So, well, we're off to go to the grocery store, my friends. I just want to tell you that I love you, and I mean that, and I hope that wherever you are today, you're doing the best that you can with whatever God's given you. And I will talk to you guys really, really soon. We'll be on here with some music this week because we got some shows Saturday, baby. Is that right? We got a show Saturday. We'll probably do a Facebook Live with some music this week because we've only got one show. So, all right, guys. As always, I love you. I mean it, and there ain't anything that you can do about it. And I'm Sarah Beth Terry Courtney, and you're not. Bye.